And a good Sunday morning. We're going to, of course, get to the spike on COVID cases, the battle over mandates, my interview with the Secretary of State about Russia and Ukraine in a moment. But we're going to begin with the terrible tornado damage in Kentucky and some neighboring states. A series of tornadoes, more typical in the spring, very rare in December, erupted overnight on Friday, causing horrific damage and loss of life. All told, these tornadoes touched down in 6 states in the nation's midsection. One tornado alone was said to be on the ground for an estimated record 200-plus miles, cutting a shocking path of destruction through several states. Most of that journey was in hardest-hit Kentucky. And the worst of the damage occurred in the Kentucky town of Mayfield, where a twister hit and destroyed a candle factory that was being used as shelter by scores of people. Dozens are feared dead there alone.
We did I think the lights went out, and then we did a rock, boom, and everything fell down on us.
I'm looking at the trees, and everything is just completely sawed off. There's very little in the way of bark remaining in some of them. Buildings are completely flattened. Cars have been picked up and thrown. Right away you're dealing with a violent tornado.
At least 6 people were also killed in Edwardsville, Illinois. That's just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, when an Amazon warehouse took a direct hit. The overall death toll is unclear at this point, but Kentucky's Governor Andy Beshear says as many as 100 are feared dead in his state alone. I'm going to talk to Governor Beshear in a moment, but first we're joined by my colleague Kate Snow. She is reporting on the ground from the hardest hit area there of Mayfield. Kate, the pictures are devastating. I imagine being there in person is even more impressionable.
Yeah, Chuck, it's almost indescribable. I can't even put in words how devastated this city is. I have to tell you, I've covered probably more than a dozen tornadoes over my career. And Chuck, I have never seen a town, a city flattened like this, just block after block. You talked about the candle factory. I want to tell you about that. 110 people were working there over on the late shift on Friday night. It's a 24-hour operation, and this time of year, there are a lot of orders for candles, so they were all inside that warehouse. Right now, there are still dozens of people missing. I just talked to a state trooper who told me they're out there again today trying to recover people and reunite families, hopefully, but they are fairly sure the death toll there at the candle factory will rise. At the same time, we're starting to hear signs, even this morning already, of cleanup happening. I'm hearing, the beeps of heavy equipment being brought in to start clearing things. The mayor told me that it's only a matter of time, months, maybe years, they will be able to rebuild. This is a resilient community. It's a very tight-knit town, a city of about 10,000 people. They all know each other. They're helping each other on this Sunday morning. And I also want to point out, this is Mayfield, but Chuck, this scene is repeated all across the state of Kentucky, in smaller ways perhaps, but equally devastated. We're talking about places over like Bowling Green. Overnight, we learned there are even more deaths there, and it is a Sunday. A lot of church services happening, even though churches here were destroyed, Chuck. They're going to get together here, even if they just have an altar standing. We've heard of one church where literally it's no walls, but just an altar, and they're having services and asking for prayers this morning, Chuck.
Well, Kate Snow on the ground for us in Mayfield. I know you're going to have a lot more on the nightly news this evening. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.